Hey everyone, today I want to talk about something a lot of people have heard of, but many still misunderstand, and that is US savings bonds. A lot of people still think you need a big chunk of money to get started, maybe $1,000 or more, but that is not true. You can actually start with as little as $25, and that one detail can make this option a lot more realistic for everyday people trying to save a little at a time. So, if you have ever wanted a simple, government-backed way to set money aside without taking big risks, this is worth your attention. So, when people hear the words US savings bond, a lot of them picture an old paper certificate sitting in a drawer, maybe something from a grandparent, maybe something bought years and years ago. And that image is not random. Savings bonds really do come from an older tradition of American saving. They became a big deal in the 1940s when families were encouraged to save in a safe way and support the country at the same time. But even though the image feels old, the bond itself is not gone. It has just changed form. Now it mostly lives online through TreasuryDirect. And that means the idea is old, but the system is modern. And that matters because sometimes older financial tools stay around for a reason. Not because they are flashy, not because they're the highest earning thing on earth, but because they are built to be steady. Sometimes that is exactly what people want. Not everybody wants to chase the market, not everybody wants to study stocks all day, and not everybody feels comfortable with something that can drop hard in a bad month. Some people just want a place to put money that feels solid, simple, and backed by the US government. That is where savings bonds still have a role. Now, the first big thing to clear up is the myth about needing $1,000. You do not. That is one of the most important facts here. Electronic EE bonds and I bonds can be bought starting at $25, and you can even buy them in odd amounts, not just round numbers. So if someone wants to put in $40 or $75 or $126 and some change, they can do that. And this might sound small, but it really changes the story. Because for a lot of people, $1,000 feels like a wall. $25 feels like a first step. And that difference matters more than people think. A lot of households are not sitting on piles of extra cash. They're paying rent, groceries, gas, maybe medical bills, maybe helping family too. So when a savings tool lets you begin small, it stops being something just for people with money already set aside. It becomes something regular people can actually use. That does not mean everybody should run out and buy one, but it does mean the door is open wider than many realize. So then, what are you actually buying? Well, right now, there are two main types people usually talk about: double E bonds and I bonds. They're similar in some ways. Both are backed by the US government. Both earn interest. Both can be cashed after 1 year. Both have a penalty if you cash out before 5 years. And that penalty is the last 3 months of interest. And both can keep earning for up to 30 years. So in that sense, they look alike. But their purpose is a little different. EE bonds are more about predictability. They have a fixed rate. And the big feature people talk about is that if you hold them for 20 years, Treasury guarantees they will double in value. That is the headline with EE bonds. Not that they're exciting right away, because they usually are not, but that they reward patience. So if you like knowing the rules ahead of time, that may appeal to you. It is kind of like planting a tree and knowing that if you leave it alone long enough, you already have a good idea what it is meant to become. I bonds are different. They're built to respond to inflation. Their rate has one fixed part and one inflation-based part, and that inflation part changes every 6 months. So when prices rise, I bonds are meant to help your money keep up better. That is why a lot of people got interested in them when inflation was hotter. The idea is simple enough. Your savings should not just sit there while the cost of everything around you goes up. So if your main concern is protecting buying power, I bonds may feel more useful. And here's where people sometimes ask, okay, which one is better? But that is not always the right question. It is more about what problem you're trying to solve. If you want a long-term, very steady, clearly defined result, EE bonds may make more sense. If you worry more about inflation eating away at your savings, I bonds may make more sense. So yeah, it is less about one being the winner and more about matching the tool to your goal. Now, there's another reason these still connect with a lot of people, especially older adults, parents, and grandparents. You can buy them for yourself, but you can also buy them for a child or as a gift. And that keeps part of the old emotional side of savings bonds alive. In the past, maybe someone gave a paper bond in an envelope. Today it is more digital, but the purpose can still be the same. It can still say, I want to give you something safe, something lasting, something you may appreciate more later than right now. And also, savings bonds can be useful in estate planning in a simple everyday sense. If there is a named co-owner or beneficiary that can help the bond pass directly to that person instead of becoming part of the estate in the usual way. For some people, that is not just about money, it is about keeping things orderly. A lot of older adults are not only thinking about return, they're thinking about simplicity, about reducing headaches for family later, about leaving things in a clear way. Savings bonds can fit into that kind of thinking. But now, let me slow down and point out something important, because this is where people can get tripped up. Savings bonds are safe, yes, but safe does not mean perfect for every situation. You cannot cash them in during the first year. That is a real limit. And if you cash out before 5 years, you lose the last 3 months of interest. So this is not money you should use if there's a good chance you will need it soon. This is not your emergency cash. It is more like money you can truly leave alone for a while. That matters a lot, especially if your budget feels tight. You do not want to hear that something is secure, put money into it, and then realize you picked the wrong place for short-term needs. Safety and access are not always the same thing. A bond can be secure and still be inconvenient if you need the money next month. So you want to be honest with yourself about that. Another thing to consider is the process. Savings bonds today are electronic, and that means using TreasuryDirect. For some people, that is no big deal. For others, especially those who are not very comfortable online, it can feel like a hurdle. The minimum amount is easier now, which is great, but the system itself can still feel a little clunky. So the money side is more accessible, but the setup side is not always as smooth as people would like. That is part of the trade-off now. And there's a tax angle too, and this is one of those quiet benefits people may overlook. Interest on savings bonds is generally exempt from state and local income tax. Federal tax is usually deferred until you redeem the bond or it matures. That can be useful, especially for people who like keeping things simple. There are also some education-related tax rules that may help in certain cases if the money is used for qualified higher education expenses and other conditions are met. That part gets more technical, so it is something you want to check carefully, but it is still worth knowing. So what does all this really mean for you? I think the biggest takeaway is that U.S. savings bonds are not about getting rich fast. They're about having a calm, structured place for part of your money. They are for the person who wants something steady. They are for the grandparent who wants to give a child something meaningful. They are for the saver who wants to begin small instead of waiting forever for the perfect moment. And sometimes that is the most important thing, just getting started. Because honestly, a lot of people delay saving not because they do not care, but because they think the amount has to be big to matter. And that belief can hold people back for years. But when the entry point is $25, that changes the conversation. It says you can begin where you are, not where you wish you were, not where someone else is, but where you are right now. And if you have thoughts on this, feel free to join the discussion below. So, when you hear someone say U.S. savings bonds are only for people with a lot of money, or that you need $1,000 to begin, that is just not accurate. You can start small. You can choose the kind of bond that fits your goal. You can use them for yourself, for family, or as part of a longer plan. And while they're not perfect and they're not right for every dollar you have, they still offer something that is getting harder to find: simple rules, real safety, and a clear place to begin.